Well, lawyer Olutubosun Oshifuwara is here with us to talk more on this. Good morning, and thank you for joining us in TVC Breakfast.
Good morning.
It seems domestic violence is taking a different dimension this time around, because initially what we know was that this was majorly against women, and suddenly we began to see a rise in abuse against men. But then we need to understand from the legal perspective what constitutes domestic violence.
Basically, any form of violence or assault on any individual within the confines of the home constitutes domestic violence. You have, prior to now, before the net was expanded, it was just more of rape and maybe physical assault on women. But now the net has been expanded, even covering emotional violence and all that. And like you said, it used to be on women. And it was thought that this is a chauvinistic society. Africa generally is chauvinistic in nature. But now I think the women are beginning to stand up for themselves, but going about it in the wrong way. Because if you look at it in the past, say 1 or 2 years, we've had cases of women killing their husbands. And if you look at it, most of these things come out of frustration, out of not knowing where to go. Some people don't know where to report to. There have been cases, in fact, there was a joke that went viral about some lady going to report. I think one of the comedians did it, and there was a backlash on it that you go to police, you report, and they go like, and so
that brings the question of some persons say that it is a complex situation. You go to the police, the courts, it takes a while, and so people begin to resort to self-defense and self-help. So what does the court, what are the procedures in court to dealing with issues such as this?
Well, it's a criminal case. It's criminal in nature.
Before it gets to.
Yes,
it's still criminal.
It's criminal. Any form of assault is criminal. There are other instances where assault can have civil dimension, but assault, what underscores assault really, is there's a criminal intent to every assault. And the first way you start is by reporting to the police. Now, so when you report to the police, it's the police that will take your statement, draw up a case file, then
is the police adequately equipped to handle such cases?
There is nothing special about it. What the problem with police not reporting, no, you report to the police, but the police not prosecuting such cases is most times they play it down, they feel, okay, there's still love, particularly the ones that have
family issue most of the time.
It's a family issue, go back home, solve it, look at this. But that's why you found out that the thing went on the increase. But now, in the past few years, people are beginning to see a different dimension to it. And this one that people are killing themselves, resorting to self-help, now they know that, okay, this is something we must take seriously and we have to go all out. And we've seen a few convictions here and there. Though also, we've seen, also there was a case in Ibadan where someone killed her husband and got state pardon within months. These are things that it resonates within the society, and people feel that if I do this, I can go scot-free. But now with this sentence, the one of Miriam that happened just
do you think that served as a deterrent? Because the following day, we had a case that was around social media of a lady killing her husband.
It's a massive deterrent. I'll tell you why. I was somewhere yesterday and someone, a group of ladies were like, so really that lady would die by anger? I said she would die by anger. Except the higher court brings a different...
She can appeal.
She can appeal to the Court of Appeal. Even from there, if the Court of Appeal maintains, she can still go to the Supreme Court. Except the verdict is turned by a superior court, she's going to die by hanging.
So beyond, if the case doesn't get to the point of killing a spouse, what are the punishments?
There are other punishments. That's why I said it's criminal. Now, if you assault someone, maybe you maim someone or you inflict any form of mark, there are other punishments that, fine, lower punishment, definitely not by death, by hanging, but imprisonment is there. It depends on the nature also. There's also community service. All right, then it's sometimes as low as apology to the person, depending on the nature of the violence inflicted on the person. But it is definitely punishable by law.
But these things, okay, you want to ask him? Go ahead.
What we see now is that all of this thing is going to have an impact on the mindset of the younger ones. Now, how does it impact the kids that they have? Children generally, I mean, domestic violence in the home.
Unfortunately, any form of fracas or any form of problems within the family, the kids always bear the brunt. Most times the woman can always, the man, either party can walk away from the marriage and go, but you know, it takes two to run a family. Absolutely. So the defect, the whole problem rises and falls on the kids. And it's quite unfortunate, but nothing can be done. In this kind of case, except the relatives come forward, the court is left with no choice than to take the kids to the welfare services to start taking care of them.
Really sad development there. Olutubosun Oshifowora, thank you for your time on TVC Breakfast. Lawyer Olutubosun Oshifowora is here with us to talk more on this. Thank you for joining us on TVC Breakfast.
My pleasure.
Now let's deviate a bit, because we know that a majority of domestic abuse perpetrated, it's against women. But now let's talk men. We see that things are changing and men are getting abused, but we do not see them come out to talk about this or even report these cases. I wonder why so?
I think earlier we talked about the fact that Africa generally was a chauvinistic society, the male-dominant thing. And imagine you being the DPO of a station and I walk up to you and say, Madam, my wife just bit me. You're going to laugh, no matter how you try to hold it. I mean, like, come on, like, you can't stand up to your wife. That's the kind of orientation we have. And invariably, that's why you have people go all out, you know, violently against their partners. I mean, if your wife slaps you, the ego in you, the man in you, the African in you will come out. And particularly when people are there, come on. You want to fight for yourself. You want to. Your parents will not agree. Your siblings will not agree. Every part of you will not agree with that. So that's why people will reciprocate that action with similar or higher level of violence.
But isn't that a paradox? Because a lot of times when, even if a lady comes and say, this man hits me, even if it's not true, everyone gravitates towards her.
Exactly.
When it comes to the man, it's a problem. Is it not does it cause a ripple effect in the society?
It's the society. They believe that you're a man, you should be able to defend yourself against. Now,
but
it's the perception.
You're supposed to defend yourself, but you're not supposed to touch a woman.
Yeah, excuse this one. They'll go like, against an ordinary woman, beat you. Like, come on, like, can't you stand up? And that's the kind of orientation.
And so that is where it should begin to change.
Yes.
That is where education comes
in. Exactly. Even with the police, if I walk up to a police station, even females who walk up to police stations and say I was raped, they will just look at it. What were you doing in his house? Did he come and rape you in your house? So
see the way you are dressed and all of those.
It's a whole lot of, we need more reorientation, not even laws now. The laws are there. The laws are always adequate. But it's the orientation. And I think it should start from primary school. In fact, from kindergarten, we should go that low and tell people that you don't abuse a fellow human being, whether male, whether female. These are the things we need to look at, because even outside, you see, then sometimes too, you could get provoked. Our level of, our threshold for anger and this, you know, working on it differ from human beings to human beings. But we should first of all understand the fact that violence is never the way. Any form of violence, whether, because okay.
Let's talk. Yes, I wanted to ask a question, because when you talk about our society, we keep talking about our society, and I'm wondering, how does the issues of tradition, religion, because these are key things that drive our society, so to speak, how does it compound issues of domestic violence?
You know, most of these traditions, these things, we have beliefs that we carry over. We believe the same way man is stronger than a woman, so if anything attacks, just as the same tradition that says the man is to protect the woman feels that when the woman attacks the man or the woman tries to bring your person down, then you should still, you know, attack the same woman. So these are things we learned, and these beliefs should be changed by education, by maybe associations and bodies that are charged with responsibility to reorientate the society. Because if this is not done, that's why, let me quickly make allusion to the judgment. Sincerely, that judgment has, it's a landmark judgment, and it is going to correct a lot of things.
You think?
People, I know. I'm telling you for real. People now know that if you kill, they'll kill you. Some people are like, she's got 2 children. What will happen to them?
Now, that is what a lot of people think about, and so it keeps they stay in that relationship.
At least now people know that if you kill, they'll kill you. And justice will come. This happened just last year or 2 years ago, and it's not the normal Nigerian thing that will drag on forever and ever. Everybody saw it. It went viral. Like, people were asking me, they called me that lawyer, so they will kill me if I kill. I said, so is your life better than my own life? So now people know.
What should one do in such situations? Looking at the case of Sanda, you're angry, you're provoked. What's the next best thing?
Anger is one word short of danger. You will never get the best. Once you react, I mean, the holy books, they all tell us that be angry and sin not. Once you're angry, walk away and look for the best. Go to the police. Go and report whatever it is. I know there are some instances if you get provoked in the middle of the night, you can't start going to the police station.
Or where does he go?
There's always another room. You can always breathe fresh air.
But you know how certain persons react when they're angry, break things and destroy things and all.
The first thing that should come to your mind is try and think about the consequences of this thing. It will always be beyond what you can handle.
All right. Olutobosun Oshifora, thank you for your time.
My pleasure.
Breakfast.
Of course, lawyer Olutobosun Oshifora is here with us. Thank you very much for joining us.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My pleasure.
All right, so in addressing this situation of domestic violence, what is the role of everyone, civil society groups, NGOs and the likes, in ensuring that there is more advocacy and there's more enlightenment against this?
I think it has to do with, they should take more of enlightening the people. And first we should start from schools. Because if you want to change a belief, a people's belief, you have to actually go to the kids. Let's just believe that the adults are formed and there's nothing you can do about them much.
Really? Well, there has to be something. Education is a continuous thing.
Well, we'll keep putting it in their faces, but I mean, if you start from, we look at the new generation. You know, there's a way a kid can actually tell you, Daddy, this is not how to do things. I mean, I've had cases, people come to my office and bring things like this because I do more of family law and all those things. And, you know, you see kids come and say, we don't want to go home, my daddy beats my mommy. If your kid says that to you 2 times, you will retrace your steps. Or your kid says that where your mates are, you know that, I mean, you've crossed the line. So sometimes we can even use these kids as, but I'm even looking at it from the angle of going to schools, catching people young. The adults are a bit formed. Most times when you have a man who beats a woman on a regular, there's almost little you can do except you wield the big stick. Like you take him. I've had cause to put people behind bars. I've done divorce cases where we had to get restriction order against the men, and they can't come near the woman because anything you do, you land back in jail.
But how effective, if we are saying that advocacy, it might be difficult because that's what I'm getting, especially when it comes to adults now.
For adults?
Yes, it might be difficult. But then how effective are the laws in dealing with these issues?
The laws are effective. Most times where you have prevalence of domestic violence, people don't report. I've had cases of following women to station, and by the time they see that they want to lock the man up, they start crying, I still love him. What do you do in that case?
It's a family issue.
Really?
So I'm telling you, sincerely, I've seen families, I've seen people who come to my office.
So it's a very complex thing to deal with.
Very complex. So you have to first make the woman understand, or the victim understand that, say, if we don't take this step, this thing will continue. Your life will be in danger. If you die, nobody will take care of your kid like you. So these are things that, so advocacy is one part. The laws are there.
So perhaps
laws are always fine.
The format which advocacy should take should be different in terms of making it clear to people that, look, these are the things involved, your children and all of that.
Absolutely. Then this judgment, you know, the way it went viral, I mean, thank God for Androids and
social media.
Social media. But the way it went viral, I've seen the effect of people. I mean, people are now wanting, so they can kill you for killing someone. I said, so what do you expect, a handshake or a gold medal? That's not the thing. So now, then people now know, with this case, they know that, okay, now I can approach the police and my case will be heard and adequate measures or adequate punishments will be meted out.
Shouldn't advocacy be taken to the police as well? Because like we have spoken about this, sometimes they feel that this issue is a family matter, so just go and resolve it.
The police needs a lot. The police needs a lot of reorientation, because most times you take a rape case to police and they go like, you know, they go funny on you. You take cases where you're beaten and they go like, you save your mouth while you abuse them. You know, things like that. So they themselves, then you have policemen who abuse their wives too. So they don't have that moral justification to want to go ahead and prosecute, except you push from a higher pedestal. I'll give you a good example.
Quickly.
Lagos State has the domestic violence
response units.
Yeah, response unit. Very wonderful team. Doing great job. I've had cause to go there several times, and that's one of the things, that's one of the places where people should be made to know that exist and can take their cases there and will get justice fast and prompt.
All right. Olutu Bobson Oshifora, thank you for your time on
My pleasure.
TVC Breakfast. Well.